Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me for working on these profiles. I'm just going to do a couple of example profiles and then we'll let you go. Just a brief tutorial for you. So here is the space page that I'm working on currently, the record set from Ancestry for Dachau. So I'll go ahead and drop that link into the chat here for y'all. And let's see. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. And I just do that by clicking the add button here. Sorry about this, folks. Having a little bit of technical difficulties with my mouse. Let's see what we got here. Okay, a little bit slow on the uptake. Okay, so sorry, we'll do that again. So go to the add menu and do new person. Add new person is what you're doing. So this brings up the form to add that new person. And I've been creating these profiles also over on Family Search. So I'm just going to show that real quick too, just because I'm trying to bring awareness to what we're doing here and make sure there's a profile at the different genealogy websites for these different ones. So the profile we're working on now is for Ludwig Essel. So bring up the record on Ancestry from Dachau Record Collection. Show you what that looks like. So here it has the date of birth, nationality, where he was born, and let's see. Unfortunately, he died there at Dachau. So go ahead and enter that information all in his new profiles. So we've got Ludwig Essel. And the date of birth for him was 8th of May, 1880. Just going to grab where he was born from the record there. Hars. Sometimes the transcription on these are a little iffy on the spelling of the location. So just have to do a little bit of see what I can find here for the location there. And I'm going to show here as well the other place I look for records. It's Arlson Archives. And you can see here I just did a search for him. And this will bring up all these different images for him, including this one right here, which is his death record. So you can see if you zoom in there, it's listing the date of death, and actually it's showing us the name of his parents. And if he had been married, it would list that person's name as well, his spouse's name. So we'll be able to add that to his profile as well. Okay, there's Ingelhars. Looks like that's the correct location, and we have a death date of, let's see, 31st of January, 1941. And that was at Dachau. And sometimes these people are already on Family Search, so then you can just go to that profile and do what you need to do, add whatever records you're able to find, and then with the Sorcerer app, we can bring over the whole profile. And you can see there's a Find a Grave memorial for him as well. And then I'm just going to search Ancestry. We already have this one record, the Dachau concentration camp record. But we'll see if there maybe is a birth record or something for him. Let's see. 8th of May. Looks like there's some more records. Here is his birth record, it looks like. Ludwig Anton Essel. All right, so that's great. So this is actually his baptismal record. Let me go ahead and add in his middle name or second forename. There. And let's see, search, maybe Family Search might have the same birth record or baptismal record, so I'll just do a search for that. Sometimes you have to take out the location to find it, because sometimes the transcription that's done on the record is got the wrong location. Sometimes it'll be Ohio, USA, but it's actually somewhere else, like South Africa or something. So you got to make sure that you don't restrict your search down too much. Sometimes you need to play with it a little bit, pull it back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Sorcerer extension, and I'll add into the video description of this video the link for the WikiTree Sorcerer. But if you just search for WikiTree Sorcerer using Google, it'll bring it right up. It's usually the first thing that shows up. So you'll learn more about it there. So I'm just going to use the Save Person Data option and go back to the Add New Person page and go back to Sorcerer again and say Set Fields from Person Data for Ludwig Anton Essel. So there you go. It's putting in all of the data fields I put in Family Search, and it's also writing a little bit of a biography based on that data. So I'm just going to go over this line here because we have a baptismal record that includes the name of his parents, which we want to just validate against the death record that we have here. Make sure we have the right person. Anton and Marie, yep. And it looks like her maiden name is spelled out there for us, so we'll be able to use that. So I'm just going to use the WikiTree Sorcerer app here, and I'm going to ask for it to build a narrative with an inline citation. And there it goes. It just did that for us. And I'm just going to do a Control-V to paste that in. And since we have her maiden name, I'm just going to grab that. It's, let's see. I think that's how it was spelled. Let me just double check that. Sorry, folks. Yep. Okay. There we go. So there's a statement about his birth and baptism. Okay. And then, so this might not be the right location. See if it has. Okay. That's what the correct spelling is. Okay. Let me put that in here. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to change what this says as well. I just have a statement that I have for these profiles that I have in my clipboard. So it's ready to go. And then on the DACAO record, it actually says that, I think it says, did it say where he came from? I guess it doesn't. Okay. All right. So we'll just leave it like that and just add that he died there on 31st of January, 1941. And then we can get the citation again using Sourcer. But this time I'm just going to ask for an inline citation. And there we go. And I'm also going to go over to the Arlson archive record that I have open here and use another extension, Chrome extension called WikiTree B. And it's actually going to write the citation up for me there. And I'm going to add that in too. So I'm just going to do that real quick here. Because we have the facts of the parents' names and everything on his death record, I just want to make a note and make sure I'm using this citation a couple times throughout the record, throughout the profile. So I'm going to do a named inline citation for it. Oh. I should say Arlson actually. Okay. There it is. Okay, so it's just a secondary source for his parents. And there was another record here. I'm just going to add as a source citation to the bottom. And then in the See Also section, I add in the Find a Grave profile as well. And whenever you create a profile with information with the Sourcer from Family Search, it brings in the Family Search template, which links back to that Family Search profile. We've got categories that we should be adding so that there's one for the religion, there's one for Dachau, and we want to change this from prisoners to victims since he died there, and change the fate on the Holocaust sticker to victim. And then we have the family tree size 1 categories there. So we should be all good to go. But we do need for him, we can add another profile. It's called a maintenance category to this profile that needs profiles created because we have the names of his parents. So somebody could add his parents then. And so there are people who actually work on those maintenance categories to add more family members to these loan profiles. So we'll go ahead and click continue. And what it's going to do is going to make sure that the profile doesn't already exist on WikiTree because there's only one profile per ancestor. So it looks like there's no matches. So we can go ahead and create that profile. And so there it is. And that's what it looks like when it's done. All right, so our next profile is going to be, go ahead and grab this up here. Move these out of our way. And bring over this other gentleman. So our next gentleman is Herman Emter, and he actually lived. He survived the Holocaust. So we're going to go ahead and get his profile created, though. Let's see here. Let's close that out. So it should be all good to go. Just going to go up to Sorcerer, do Save Person Data, and go to this Add New Person. Let's see. And then do Set Person Fields for this Herman Emter. And I did search previously to see if I could find any birth records for him, and I wasn't able to. So we'll go ahead and get him added without them. And add the categories here. And then we'll want, since we don't have a birth record for him, we want to go ahead and add that we need a birth record. So there is a needs birth record here for Württemberg. So I'm just going to add that. And then I'll just make the statement about his imprisonment here. So I can add the citation there. Let's see. There we go. So just go back to his Dachau record. So there he is. Date of birth, location of birth, when he arrived, his number, and then different information about where he was transferred after Dachau. So he was actually transferred several times. So we'll go ahead and look at that next, just a second. I'm just going to grab this inline citation and add it to the profile. Okay, so Herman also is in Arlson Archives, so I'm just going to bring that up. There is quite a few records for him because he was in 7 camps altogether. So Flossenburg, Dachau, Buchenwald, and a few others. So go ahead and grab this one for Buchenwald. You can see quite a few records there, pages, documents there, because there's his interview, because he was released at Buchenwald. So there's the exit interview with the U.S. Army. So we'll go ahead and add that to the profile as well. Just going to go ahead and add that in there. And Buchenwald. Because there were so many different camps, just want to make sure we are entering that that's which camp this record is for. And then there is other records for him. He actually traveled to the U.S. and you can see here at the date of birth matches, the name, everything matches. So if we actually go into this record, you can see that he went to this address, 124 Columbia Heights in Brooklyn, New York, which is associated with Jehovah's Witnesses. And that was in June of 1958. So he would have been probably going to attend the summer convention there in New York for 1958. So I'm just going to grab that citation here and add that in. So another place for looking for records or for information about these witnesses is the Watchtower Online Library, and it's just wol.jw.org, and you can do a search. You can see I've already searched for his surname, and here's the yearbook for 1974 where he's mentioned, and it just talks a little bit about him. So we'll make sure to cite this article as well in his profile. All right, so there's the citation. And all right, so now over here, for this article, let me show you how to add that as well. So back on the main project page for Jehovah's Witnesses, it has a link to resources, and one of them is the yearbook, and it has the citation ready to go there for you, so you can add it. And I'm just going to add it down because it's just a mention. I'm just going to add it down here, and it was the 1974 yearbook, and it's part 2. Germany is what the art part of the book is. Just going to add that into the citation. And it's pages 162 to 163. Okay. And then I'm just going to grab the link for the article here, so anybody else is able to check that out. Because that's a free resource. Okay, so I think we have everything there. And we're going to go ahead and click continue to add, and it's going to do the search to see if anybody else, if the profile might already exist. Looks like it doesn't, so I'll just go ahead and click continue, and there we go. Oh, and I forgot to add the other camps, so let me do that real quick here. This is the category picker. It's right here. It's this little icon. If you click that, it lets you start typing in the name of the category that you know you want to add, and then it'll bring up any that meet that criteria that you've entered. So we're just going to add that he was a prisoner there at Buchenwald, and I think Flossenburg. And let's grab the citation for Flossenburg. Okay. Just going to go grab which camp that was. And there we go. I'm just going to say adding sources and categorization. There we go. So this is what the profile looks like now. So we're good to go. And what I'll do too is I'll add links back from Find a Grave and Family Search and Ancestry and Arlson so that people who are viewing those records or profiles on those other sites then can know that we have a profile on WikiTree so that they can, if they're interested, they can find out some more information here. All right. And another profile, I just wanted to give you an example of something that had needed to have a research note added because there was an error in the transcription record of Ancestry's record. So I've added a research note here, and I've signed and dated it with my profile ID and the date and time that I left the note. So you can see how another way that we are able to really add information for collaboration to the WikiTree profiles. Okay, and thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're watching this on the replay, for watching that. And if you have questions, be sure to email me at azure@wikitree.com, or you can leave a message or comment on this video, and I'll be sure to get back to you. We will be updating the blog post that's linked in the video description with the profiles that were completed today. We've now completed down through E. All profiles with starting with surnames starting with E are done. So we're well on our way to complete the over 400 profiles here. All right, until next Sunday, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later.